today we're just going to have a quick session on Scalar. So let's check it out. Scalar is by Plugin Boutique. We're going to look at Scalar 2. I've had Scalar 1 for a while, but there's been some significant changes with Scalar. It does cost £19 to upgrade, but that's not too expensive. And unlike Captain Chords, you don't need the internet for it to work, it just works. So let's check it out. So what's so cool about it? Off the bat, it's got some nice sounds. Okay, so things have been sort of changed and rejigged. The interface itself is bigger. One of the complaints I had with the version 1 was I found, maybe it's just my bad eyesight, but I found the fonts and the whole thing quite small and difficult to read. This is much bigger, much wider, but still packs a punch. There's still quite a lot in here, okay? It's just been redesigned. So the sounds are now on the left-hand side. They used to be up here, which is cool. You get some pretty nice sounds. Some pretty nice sounds. Takes a while to load. Pretty similar to before, and there are actually much more sounds than this. There's a whole sort of sound pack, but I did not download it because for me it's not the key sort of element of what I look for Scalar. What I'm looking for Scalar is chords and assistance for creation of melodies. And that's where it really excels. So first thing you'll look at, and this really hasn't changed very much with Scalar, is the songs and the artist presets. The thing is, you've got more. So you've got more artists. So you've got what you had before. So you have MJ Cole, which is one of my favorites. Just have a quick listen. Pretty nice chords. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that is new, never seen it before, which is really nice. There's a few from the community. And I think there's probably a way you can even save your own and add your own, but I'm not going to go through that now. And then you've got songs. Pretty similar to what we had before. There's a few being added, quite a few more synthwave ones. And some disco ones. I think actually disco could be really useful because I like disco. So EDM is pretty much very similar to before. So basically it's got the same as before, but just more, it has kind of the same look and feel, just a bigger screen. And these are the user ones, the ones that you create yourself. And yeah, and it's got all of the scales, all the notes, different types of scales you want. So you want a C scale, C major. And so it just shows you all the notes for that. So that's all cool. So what I really liked about the upgrade is the edit mode. So let's just go, actually let's close this. I've just jumped a bit too soon. Let's go back to MJ Cole, who makes, I don't know, the best chords in the world. Actually, let's use the other MJ Cole one that we heard before. Let's just drag them into the patterns. So the first thing that you'll notice, you have got basically what you had before. You have the play button. And like before, it runs through them very quickly, but you've got much more control now over what you hear. And I think that's very useful. So if you click on edit, for example, you can now control, and you could have done this before, but it just seems to be easier in version 2. So you can make a lower octave on the first one, and listen to it now. Just bring that back. You can do inverted chords. -1, couple, so listen. And tone, semitone, you can sort of change it by a tone, a semitone, and then it sounds, you get all sorts of funky stuff. All very nice, but obviously it's a bit fast. Now you've got this other folder underneath which has the playback timings. So this is what I really like. And I think I had something similar before, but it's just so much easier now. So I'd want to play it back at 4 times the speed. Not 4 times the speed, it kind of slows it down. So every 4 bars, it plays it back rather than every bar. Let's just change the sound to this one, to the felt piano. Okay, and you can repeat. Say you want to repeat the second one twice, but you want it to be shorter. The first one the same. You can basically set the... Let's go back to grand piano. So yeah, so that's very nice. And what's even better is this third little pop-out folder, which is the performance playback, which, once again, some of this stuff we had before, but it's just the way it's organized makes it just so much easier. And you can come up with some absolute amazing sounds just doing this. So check it out. So expression. Let's just leave the first one on expression, and let's just go back in there. Leave the first one as expression. Let's listen to it now. Let's bring that to 4. Listen to it again. So you can imagine if you go down to expression, defaults to accento. Listen to it now. And you can loop it. I think this is the loop button. Okay, so it just keeps playing. So you can mess around with it as well, kind of like Ableton. You can change the speed. You can slow it down. So some of these performances, you've got so many to choose from. So listen to a couple of the different variations of performances. So yeah, it's looking good. So I'm just going to stop that now. I didn't really like the second one, but that's fine. So you can see the sort of power that you have. You've still got Arpeggiator, so you can still just listen to that. And you've got the different arpeggio options. It's not the best, greatest arpeggiator in the world, but the combination of the sounds really does give you some flexibility. And obviously you've got strumming. So let's just go down to strumming on all of them. So you've got the different types of strumming, which is just really nice. Just changing them to slow. Okay, so you get the picture there, right? So if we just go back to expression again. So I'm just going to change the second one to, so also there's all these other things like phrases and rhythms. I mean, you can check it out for yourself, but there's quite a lot in there. So adagio means small, slow, Vivace obviously means fast, so everything in the middle is in the middle. So we just take a couple of the slow ones and just randomly picking some up. And I'm going to play them again. Yes, I'm going to just demonstrate something. So I'm bringing up Contact a piano instrument that I've got. So we can bring up Contact a really nice piano called the Grandeur. So once that's there, you can then let's drag it up to here. You can drag the MIDI that you've produced. And if you just want to have a quick look at the MIDI, it's just all there for you. And obviously you can go in and change and mess around with stuff. So that's really nice. So let's listen to it. It even has the velocities down. So see, some of them are higher velocity, so we can change the velocities. Let's bring them all down a little bit. We can loop it. And then once you are in there, you can start putting some nice reverb and so that same scalar loop can be reused, and you could just simply switch off the playback performance piece. Okay, so we just duplicate the contact track and drag in those chords. Now let's have a listen. So once you're in the chord, obviously you can do all sorts of stuff. Actually, what I'd like to do is go back to scalar, and you can start seeing where it really can help as a songwriting tool. I wasn't a fan of the double loops. I just want it to be no repeats, okay? And I want them to be at 4. So let's now just drag that in and hear that. Okay, and there's a few other features. I'm not going to dwell too much on them. I'm just gonna, sorry about that. Just going to open scalar again, sorry about that. You can bring your own audio in. There's probably a lot of videos on how to do that. And you can actually record your own capture. You can actually capture your own patterns and your own chords, but that's the same as Scalar 1, so I'm not going to show you that. And finally, you've got this kind of cool, you can actually see the guitar notes as well as the piano roll. And you can add as many patterns as you want. So we can, so for example, I've just copied one of the chords in there. I can put a rest in there. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that you can do in Scalar 2. It just the way it's been designed is just a lot easier than Scalar 1, and Scalar 1 was really good. So yeah, I'm not going to go for humanize and voice grouping. There's some functionality there, but that I don't use, to be honest. I've had Scalar for a couple of weeks and I'm not using that. But I think just those edit and voice chords and playback and performance additions are enough to get the upgrade. And if you don't even have Scalar, just buy it. Or if you're looking for inspiration, buy Scalar, because there's probably nothing better on the market. Captain Chords is really good as an alternative, but it's very different as well, and it's more sort of geared towards EDM. It's less of a songwriting tool, more of a utility to help you create dance music, whereas this one you can properly write songs from it. So that's it for me. I hope you got something from this. Love to hear what your comments are, and yeah, all the best. Thanks. Bye bye.